thank you for showing up. Mr. West, thanks for coming back again. Let me see you again.
Yo, if you don't agree with us, man, I'm sorry. I'm not, man.
Later.
You guys, this guy was dancing, man. This guy was dancing.
You were cha-cha.
I was not cha-cha. I was not a cha-cha. I said,
wait a second.
I don't
know.
I didn't come on the show and say, I didn't come on the show. I didn't come on the show. I didn't come on the show. I didn't come on the show and say I didn't want one.
Movies and you don't watch comic shows.
Not the ones that don't work for me, man. They're crap.
But you have to include garbage with the good stuff.
No, you don't. Yes, you do. That's how I do with my comic books. I'm not collecting Rebirth. I'm going like, I don't like this.
You don't collect comic books anymore?
Because they're crap. They're not good, man. They're not good. Are you collecting comic books?
Yes.
Do you collect comic books?
Nah.
Why don't you collect comic books anymore, sir?
I watch the cartoons with the kids.
That's not what I asked, sir. Why don't you collect comic books anymore, sir?
Too expensive.
Oh, no. Now you're going to say too expensive. Really?
I regret selling my comic collection.
Than cable?
I just simply said I regret selling my... Yeah, all of it. I regret selling my comic collection.
But why don't you read comic books anymore?
Why don't I read them anymore? The stories.
Thank you.
I don't recognize the stories.
Bring it out, sir.
Hold on. I don't recognize the stories anymore.
He knows what he wants to say.
No, this is what I'm saying. I don't recognize the stories or the characters. I told you.
You don't like them.
I love comics.
I didn't say you didn't like the medium. I said you don't like the stories that they're coming out. You don't like these comic books.
I don't recognize these characters anymore.
Do you like that? That you don't recognize them?
No, I don't like
There
that.
you go. That's the answer. That's why I don't watch those shows. Shut the door. That's why I don't. Oh, you want him to come in?
You okay?
That's why I don't. That's why I don't watch that show. That's why I don't watch those shows because I don't like them.
But
I mean,
Supergirl.
No,
I gave Supergirl.
Flash had me interested. No, Flash was in. Yes.
You can talk about every episode.
No. The second season. Whoa.
That's crap.
Because I like what they did. I like what they did.
Every time you say you don't watch it, you talk about.
No. I don't.
Wait, hold on. What did or didn't you like about Flash that made you watch it continuously? But what I mean,
the villain. I said that before. The villain. Yes, I don't like that. I hate it.
I hate it. Aberthon or Reverse Flash or
Aberthon. Reverse Flash was corny. The way they ended it was corny. With the race? Come on, a race? This dude is.
I told you he knows everything about it
because I was like,
watch the second season.
No, the second season.
Bring up anything and you.
The second. No, the third season.
You'll explain why it's crap.
No, I'm not saying that about Supergirl.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about Flash.
I said Flash hooked me, and I said I'm giving it a chance.
The second
and
season you didn't like, but you watched.
And I said they kind of like, yo, man, they kind of look. Aberthon. Yo, they should have never killed that character. Never.
That's what they brought him back.
Yeah, I was just saying. That's what we were doing. Why I didn't watch the other shows. Supergirl is Superman in a dress. That's all it is.
No, it's not.
And yes, it is. That's not even that. That's not even the character Supergirl.
I love Arrow season 1. Arrow season 2 started to deviate. Arrow 5.
Arrow was more WB with this whole team. Team Arrow.
Well, I'll say
team
that.
Flash,
Team Flash. I didn't
team
understand
Supergirl.
that concept either.
That's all that is Smallville stuff. And once they did that for Flash, I was like, come on.
Okay, but hold on. Let me hold you back there. Those shows, because of Smallville, you can knock whatever it is. It's brought in a whole new level of people who read comic books, who watch the shows. So
no. I'm not talking about. Whoa. Hold on a second.
I never
Smallville's take on Superboy was a unique take for television. It was a unique take. The reason why it was unique is because they didn't address it. They didn't write it as a superhero story. They wrote it as a teen story who probably just happened to have these abilities because he has the angst. He has the difficulty adjusting. He has the difficulty with his parents, having a love life, and all these issues about his future and where he comes from. All teen stuff. That's how they addressed Superman. That's why it was so different. That's why it was successful, because that's how they addressed the show. Now, because of that mold, they use that mold to use for every other adapting show, and it doesn't work for every other show. It doesn't work for Arrow, in my opinion. Arrow is a much darker show.
I agree with you. First off, I never watched Smallville because I was never interested on I never understood why do I need to know the background on the difficulty in being Superman growing up in Kansas. Okay, and that's funny. That's the only place that we real knows. I grew up in Kansas. It's the only real place in DC, Kansas, where he grew up. Everywhere else is Gotham, blah blah blah.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem. They made their own world,
but a city is character. A city is a contributing character.
For Batman, it is not for every other. Well, Metropolis 2 is another character for Superman, but
a city is character, which is why it's even it's more believable in Marvel than in some of these other genres. But fine.
I agree with
so
you on that.
I can't relate to Smallville, but although from what I understand, they introduced periodically DC characters in Smallville. So there was a Bart Allen.
They did that. Yeah.
Cyborg.
Yeah.
His
Aquaman.
relationship.
Yeah, Aquaman.
Right. All the little other relationships came and went.
Yeah.
I even saw an episode where there was the Wonder Twin powers.
Oh wow! I don't know.
I
I don't
Googled
know.
it.
I heard about it.
I Googled it.
I
So
heard
it
about
was-
the other
think you're
those
right.
characters of Bart Allen, the Flash coming in as a thief and all that good stuff.
Right.
I never watched I was not a big Smallville fan. I did try to capture a couple of the first early episodes, and I thought their take on bringing in new villains or villains for him to fight as him learning his powers because of the radiation from the kryptonite and that fallout, I thought that was genius. I was like, okay, that works for me. I like their take. It was almost kind of Dukes of Hazzard-y. You know, you got Lex Luthor's son. You got Lex's father, and he's the son, and he's wanting to be kind of like the boss hog of this particular area, and he wants to. It was kind of Dukes of Hazzard. I didn't have a problem with their take on it.
I've seen
You
it.
mean
I
how
don't-
much
I
like
don't-
Dukes of
I
Hazzard
don't
was
It
see
was.
it.
I'm just
Yeah,
talking
you-
about
the guy
the
wearing
whole.
the black shirt.
I'm just
and all of a
talking.
sudden
No,
Dukes of
I'm just
Hazzard,
talking
and he
about.
just needs a General Lee. Let's go. Hey, come on,
I mean,
Yeah.
you did have him in there. I mean,
Yes,
as his
that is
father.
true.
But what I'm
It's
saying
not
is,
Dukes of
you
Hazzard.
had
Come on,
characters in this town. This is all I'm saying. That you had characters in this town, and once you got the characters in this town to get to know them, then the world is being established, and that's what Smallville was to me. That's
But
what I
isn't
thought.
that
It was.
all stories where you get to know the characters and then you
No,
build the
and this
world
is
through
my
them?
problem with WB and their model from Smallville, which is
that-
A successful
team
model,
this
but-
team.
but it's
No.
on every show.
Successful
But every
for-
show,
it only
has-
made sense
Every
for-
show has it. It's not just WB.
No, that's
Because
why
but
it's
you have the CSI shows. You have the
What you talking about? CSI? There's
You see it? They have
No,
teams.
but-
Every show has a team. That's
no,
what
no,
I'm
no, no.
saying.
But we're talking about a different idea. This
No,
is
but I'm just
superheroes.
saying, but superheroes
I'm a
have a
mass
team.
I'm a mass superhero trying to protect the world, and there's a group of people that only know my identity.
That's-
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't think-
bananas.
How can you survive without a team? You're gonna need somebody to help you out.
They do in the comic
But
books.
again,
It doesn't
right,
make.
exactly.
And matter of fact, it works for the other characters on Netflix. You don't have a team behind them.
They have
And
a
this
little
is
bit
what-
of team.
No, they
Huh?
all have teams.
They have a
No, they
little
don't.
bit
They don't
of
have a
team.
team.
They got Stick. They got.
No. They have a pass.
And then they also have Foggy knows who he is.
Well,
and then-
originally he didn't.
Yeah,
Thank
there
you.
you
That's
go.
what I'm talking about.
Electra-
But the thing about it is,
Frank Miller.
the only
Right.
person that's really supposed to know is
Night
what's her
Nurse
name?
knew.
Electra.
Not Electra.
Night
Oh,
Nurse knew.
Electra always knew who he was. I'm talking about, and that's what Frank Miller. I'm talking about Karen Page. Foggy wasn't supposed to know, but Karen Page is supposed to know, and then reveal that as a source for betraying him, and
Right,
but
'cause
all
he
that.
goes to
But
drugs
that's
and whatever,
part
so.
of the context of Daredevil and his storyline.
Well, that's
Not-
the revised storyline.
Right,
That's
his
the
revised.
storyline I
Well,
grew
that
up with.
revised now has become canon because it's so dope. Okay, that's more
I don't
dope.
know about that.
Canon over
That
Frank
changed.
Miller days?
No,
No.
his
Oh, okay.
his Frank Millen stuff is canon.
Okay.
That's why it's so dope. Because they're like, throughout that other stuff that didn't work. Frank Miller's run has made it canon. That's the Daredevil. That's the Daredevil we know.
Yeah, but
okay.
the other Daredevil is what developed. What we
All
got to
I'm
see,
saying
you
is
know
that it
what I'm
doesn't work in the. They don't have a team in the comic books, and they don't have it on for every Netflix show as well. And
I know, but you see, they're trying to make it more realistic. They're saying, hey, how
How is
can
that
a-
realistic?
Hold on, how can a
No,
character,
how is that
how can a
realistic?
character do
Okay.
all this stuff
Well, here's the-
without
here's the
somebody
thing.
backing you up unless you have unlimited beauty? Even a
With the
billionaire.
Flash, I understand their. No, hold on. With the
listening.
Flash,
I'm still
I
shaking my
understand-
head. Go ahead.
Hold on, because he needed to make Barry, so someone had to teach him. So
Okay.
Egbert Thong, assuming what's the guy's role in what's the guy who became Star Labs in the wheelchair.
The guy's name.
yeah,
So-
we know who it is.
Right,
but
so
yeah,
he's
yeah.
stealing his identity,
Right.
tracking Barry his whole life for 14 years,
Yeah.
putting Barry in this position to start the generator,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, and then the fallout are the villains that end up. Him teaching him his ability so that he can get him to a point to get him back. Perfect. I understand season 1. That's the only reason that I think a team should exist. But
Okay, I'm gonna disagree, but I'm gonna agree with you. But I'm gonna disagree. Go ahead.
Okay,
I'm
now,
gonna agree
with
with you. Go
Arrow-
You
ahead.
need to make it succinct.
with Arrow, him, and again, they changed the storyline because the Arrow I grew up with didn't have
This whole team.
didn't have what you call him teaching him on the island.
Oh yeah,
Didn't-
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke. So, that to me that made it better. Now his bodyguard finding out who he was and all this other stuff and the team behind
That's supposed to
it.
be John Diggle.
Yes.
John Diggle.
I never know. So I'm just good. Okay.
Yeah, and then his girlfriend being what you call it, and all that didn't need to exist.
Okay,
They
I see your point.
deviated from that.
Let me tell you
But
how
I'm
bad the
saying-
show
but
was.
the only-
They
Batman,
killed off the
Batman.
character, and then John Diggle gets in a green suit. I'm like, really? You really need to be Green Arrow to
wasn't
make
John
the
Diggle.
No. He got into a green suit. He had the arrow, and then what you call it, the red guy with the, Speedy
Speedy,
or
right.
Arsenal. They not even call him Speedy. They call him Arsenal. Whatever. And
That's not their fault. He's called
no, no.
Arsenal.
It's not. But my point
Get back
is
to-
that this
No,
guy.
that was
my
even,
point, Batman
Mark
had
Ruffalo.
Alfred, right? He had
Correct.
unlimited resources of Wayne Enterprises. Most of these characters won't have that.
Green Arrow is rich too. That's why they call him.
Not in the show. He's broke as hell.
Well, he
No,
still
no,
looks like he's a rich
He
dude.
lost
What are you
the
talking
money.
about?
Remember, he got everything.
Well-
he lost the company and everything.
Well, yeah, but at the same time,
facility-
had they kept it consistent, at least with the comic book, then he would have had money and the resources, and he wouldn't necessarily need a team. But the way they ended up planning it out is he ends up having to need a team, and what's the name?
girlfriend has
His
money.
money,
Supergirl,
and-
she's got her team, and I was like, oh
Yeah,
God,
I
here we
agree
go
with you.
again.
I'm
And
tired
then
of-
here's
I'm
the
tired of teen
here's the
spirit.
Superman thing. She's a reporter. She wears glasses. Oh, she what you call it is infatuated or has a romance with another a co-worker supposed to be her Lois Lane. I was like, this is a Superman in a dress. There is no Kara Sorel in this. This is not her character. And I'm like, this is Superman's
Well, they went-
motif
right, they went
and
with
put it in a
storyline.
female.
They went with a
And I was like, this
storyline that
crap.
they thought that people are going to be palatable.
It was
with.
whack to me, and I was just like, "This is not
Which is
Supergirl."
which is why-
And that's why I wasn't watching it. I
Well,
was like,
this
"This
is why the
show."
ratings are what the ratings are. But
Thank
again,
you.
I wanted you to tell me what you thought about with the Flash crossover.
I'm going. Okay, I didn't see
gentlemen,
that, but here. Whoa! Listen, one last thing. One last thing. Come on, I can't get one last thing in.
You had
No,
the last
wait.
thing
He
in
asked
there.
you a
No last
question.
thing
You were
in there.
like,
No last
I didn't
Continue
see
to put my
that
last
one.
thing in there.
I said
I'm
no, but I got
continuing to
something
put
else
my
I
last
want to
thing in.
say.
Anyway, when he was talking about the Flash team, now I had a problem with it, but I went along with it because the same team thing and this guy. My problem was that Eobard Thawne runs into the past and all of a sudden he loses his powers. Why? How did he lose his speed? Never explained. Never explained why he lost
they
his speed.
explained
Hold on, no, they did not. They did not explain it.
I'm with you because I'm not quite clear on.
How did he lose his speed? My man ran into the past and he can run. You see him running the past again because we had in season 2 do it. So I'm like, how did he lose his speed? Why? Anyway, here's my problem with it. And I said this to
Unless he's not part of the.
Here's my
Speed
thing
Force,
is, and
which is never explained. But again, while he's in the past, he's able to access future technology. So yes, how does he lose his power at the same time he's speaking to?
sir, you got me on
But
that
wait,
one too.
are you
Thank you.
saying this is
Yo,
the
I
issue?
was like,
Alright,
this
so-
is amazing.
What
Wait,
is-
hold on.
what
Here's
is
my
the
point. No,
point?
no. I
What
get
is
what
the
you were doing.
point?
No, no.
He's in route.
Thank you,
He's
sir.
en route. Come on, he's
Thank
en
you,
route.
I
sir.
don't
Make
know
the
where you're
point.
going though.
Well, if you allow me to make my point,
keep
sir.
saying
Where
make
you
the point.
going?
Because I was going on it.
He's en route. Go
That's
on.
right.
I don't
So
know.
here was my problem with it. I was like, okay, instead of making it Barry Allen as the making, and this is what I said
Oh,
before.
come on, not that
Was
idea.
make the
Oh.
Flash Wally West.
That
The
has- what does that
person
have to do with
who should
anything?
now be trying to his enemy is Barry Allen, and the crisis that they keep talking about happens is because he dies and he wants Wally West to not have that future happen or to go back into the past so he doesn't have to die. That to me would have been a Flash episode or a basis to make. You got conflict, you got the what you call
That
the
has
leader.
nothing to do
No,
with
no,
what
no,
your
so you have to
point
make my
was.
point, sir.
What
Hold
was
on.
your point?
My
The point of
is-
bringing
my
out the
point-
problem
new
to
story.
come up
That's
with your own
not the-
Yes,
idea.
no,
No, but
because-
that's mentioned. That is the highlight in the entire.
Because you have the
series, season one.
teacher-student relationship.
Right, and
Thank
season
you,
one,
sir.
in season one,
Ding,
every
ding,
time he
ding,
goes
ding,
in season
ding,
one,
ding, ding,
they
ding.
keep
No.
mentioning he disappears. He disappears. What happens in the future? He
Thank you,
disappears.
sir.
2025.
Thank you,
what
sir.
you call it? He
Somebody who
disappears.
saw the show.
He disappears.
What?
Why?
What?
Wait a second.
Wait a
How does that
second.
work in the
I watched
Wally
that
West though?
Because
So Wally West
the-
in Crisis is instrumental.
That's
No,
right, because
that's-
Wally
that's
West
ain't
would be the new
constant-
Flash,
adding in continuity crap.
and Barry
No.
Allen would be the reverse Flash coming back to
don't have
try
to do
and
any of
make
that
Wally
stuff.
West
You don't
go
have-
back
no,
into
no.
the past.
No,
Get
no,
into
that's an
get into
interesting story.
listen,
No.
hold
That's an
on, sir.
interesting
Oh
story.
God.
Oh, my
No,
God.
it's not. That would have been a hot
I don't know what.
Flash
No,
show.
It's not the
no.
show.
They
That's a
use this
different
ending
show.
for Crisis on Infinite Earth. for
Thank
season
you. Thank you.
No crisis.
Somebody
no
who,
crisis.
but sir, you know
Crisis
what?
doesn't-
Dixon,
He didn't
Mr.
become a
West,
bad guy.
No, sir, no,
He
no,
didn't
you know
become
what?
a bad guy. He wanted to be a bad guy. When did he become a bad guy?
Anytime, sir.
No.
Come anytime, sir. Come anytime, sir.
How does he become
You know
a
what I'm
bad?
saying?
He
Come
didn't become a
anytime.
bad guy in
I know you
comics.
love- Thank you so much.
I'm walking off.
Wait a
I'm
second.
watching
That's
the show.
ridiculous.
Somebody
That doesn't
watches
mean.
the
Why
show.
should he be a
Thank
bad
you,
guy?
Sir. Thank you, sir.
In
Because
Crisis, he wants him to become a bad guy.
it makes sense, sir.
How does he become a bad guy? Why does he become a bad guy? In the comics, did he become a bad guy?
The whole season circled around two things.
My God.
He disappears on 2025, and and he wants to secure this future, right? We have Egbert Thawne who wants to secure this future. At the same time, he needs to teach him enough to help him get back to his future. So we see glimpses to Crisis on Infinite Earth where he's disappeared
and they
somehow.
keep talking about the Flash. There's a crisis in the future where the Flash vanishes. They keep talking about that. So this is how.
But
Barry,
he doesn't come back as a bad guy.
I'm going to explain to you. Barry is not trying to play a bad guy. He's seen as a bad guy because he's being selfish. It's a selfish reason. He doesn't want to die. So the conflict is the new take. Listen, the new take is that this character who is Barry Allen, who was a hero, now doesn't want to die. He's sacrificed. He's trying to stop that. He wants to reverse that past of him dying. And Wally West, he's trying to make sure that Wally West gains enough power so he can go back and changing that. Don't you see how that is the same storyline that you have, but all you do now is switch the identities and you make the conflict now something from somebody he said who was a father figure now is somebody who is a direct link to him being
this
the Flash.
Wasn't about your whole point is to have your idea of the show. You're talking about the team. Now you're talking about.
That's why I did. I said this is why I like the show, but I disagree with how they set it up because we don't understand how the Flash gets his powers back, and because we don't understand. I mean, the Reverse Flash loses his powers. Because we don't understand that, it makes the setup now to get Wally to gain his speed when he's stealing speed all this time. Remember, he's been stealing it. So why isn't he doesn't have enough speed at this point? Because that same contraption was the same contraption they used in season 2 for him to be able to go back in time. And I'm like, how was Eobard Thawne not able to gather all this speed from the first place? It doesn't make any sense.
So then now Barry works as a villain. That's how you jump to that conclusion?
Yes, because
this is what they're doing. Hold on, this is what they're doing for season 3. The teaser is that he's a villain because now he's got Egbert Thawne in a cage, right? He's changed the past. We now have Wally West there. I don't know who the black guy in who
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know who Alchemy is, but you see the other guy in the Dark Flash.
Well, then it's going to become the show you want it to be. Barry will be a bad guy, and I don't know who. But he's the lead.
You're going to get Kid Flash in this.